You know, some losses are just losses. They're statistics, but others are statements. Tonight, we're going to break down a match that was definitely a statement. We're talking about a devastating night in Carson, California, one the LA Galaxy and their fans are probably trying very hard to forget.
Yeah, that was the final score on aggregate, 7-2 in a Concacaf Champions Cup quarterfinal. Just let that sink in for a second. So the big question on everyone's mind is pretty simple, right? How? How does a team just completely collapse like that on their own turf? Well, let's get into it. Let's break down the anatomy of this thing.
To really get what happened at the end, we've got to go back to the beginning, because this wasn't just another game. This was the second leg of a knockout round. The pressure was already maxed out from the very first whistle.
And here's the thing, they weren't even starting from zero. LA Galaxy walked out onto their home field already in a hole, needing a massive performance not just to win the game, but to have any chance of staying in the competition at all. The task ahead of them was just huge.
Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting from a tactical perspective. Check this out. Both teams came out with the exact same 5-4-1 formation. That tells you both coaches were thinking the same thing. Play it safe, stay tight, and focus on defense. It was supposed to be a chess match, but that's not what happened at all.
For any team that needs a comeback, those first 20 minutes are absolutely critical. You want to settle the nerves, you want to build some momentum. But LA Galaxy, they got the exact opposite of that.
The absolute nightmare scenario for the home crowd started happening almost immediately. We're talking just 10 minutes into the match.
And boom, there it is. Jesús Gallardo finds the back of the net for Toluca. Any hope the Galaxy had of grabbing an early goal and changing the mood was just gone, instantly. And that hole they were already in, it just got a whole lot deeper.
And this is what that one goal really meant. The aggregate score suddenly jumps to 2-5. What was already a mountain to climb had basically just turned into Everest. The home team needed nothing short of a miracle now.
Okay, but the game wasn't over. After giving up that early goal, LA Galaxy had to do something. And for the next 50 minutes or so, they desperately tried to claw their way back.
And if you were just looking at the surface, you'd think, okay, they're in control. I mean, they had the ball a lot, nearly 57% of the possession. But as we all know, having the ball doesn't mean anything if you don't do anything with it. Possession without a purpose is just, well, it's just passing practice.
And this slide right here, this tells the whole story of that struggle. LA had all that time on the ball, but they just weren't making clear chances. 10 shots, okay, but only 4 of them were actually on target. Now look at Toluca. They had less of the ball, but they were way more direct, way more clinical, and they actually made the keeper work more often. So you can just imagine the frustration building up in that stadium, right? The Galaxy are trying, they're probing, but that final killer pass just wasn't there. And with every single minute that ticked by, their Champions Cup dream was slipping away. And then it all fell apart. This was the moment when a really bad night turned into an absolute total collapse. The floodgates just burst open, and it happened so fast. The 58th minute. After all that pressure, the defense finally breaks for a second time.
Paulinho scores for Toluca. It's 2-0. And look, at that point, the tie is basically over. But it was about to get so much worse.
Because just 6 minutes later, 6 minutes, before LA could even really process that last goal, Toluca was celebrating all over again.
And it's Paulinho again. A quick-fire double. In just 6 minutes, the score went from a tough 1-0 to a humiliating 3-0. That was the knockout punch.
And there you have it, the final, absolutely brutal aggregate score. A 2-7 demolition over 2 games, and it was all sealed with a crushing defeat at home.
All right, so when the dust finally settled on this thing, how do we explain what happened? Well, as they always do, the final numbers tell the real story.
You can see the whole story we've been talking about laid out right here in the stats. Yep, LA had more possession. But look closer. Toluca had 5 shots on goal. LA only had 4. But the most telling number on this whole entire slide is the saves. 2. That's it. That's how many saves the LA Galaxy keeper made all night. Toluca puts 5 shots on target, and 3 of them end up in the back of the net. That single number just screams at you, right? It points to the 2 biggest problems: a defensive breakdown that let Toluca get great looks at goal, and just how ruthless and clinical Toluca was when they got those chances. And that's really where we have to leave it. Because a loss like this isn't just a number on a scoreboard. It's a psychological blow. For a team that has big ambitions, how do you bounce back from a 7-2 aggregate beatdown, from being completely dismantled on your own field? That is the massive question the LA Galaxy have to answer now.